Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video, and welcome back yet again to the Great Western Express Remastered route. Today we are in the Class 802/0 from the Riviera line. GWR, in 2017, when this timetable was set, GWR had received a couple of 802s for use as testing, and they are very much not in passenger service yet. The 802s layer in this timetable represents that, so this thing does not run regular passenger services. It does one service from Old Oak Common to Reading, then Reading to North Pole Depot, and then North Pole, and then it stays at North Pole Depot, I think. Anyway, so we'll be running on diesel power for most of this run until we get to Hayes and Harlington. Then, thanks to the overhead catenary, we will switch to electric mode, since this is a bi-mode unit, run under electric power until just past North Pole Depot, West Pole Park, and then switch into diesel mode to get into Paddington, because while we do have overhead wires as far as Paddington, the platform we are heading to today does not have overhead wires, and just a few of the platforms do, and those are used by the Heathrow Connect services. Anyway, enough waffle, let's get going. So yeah, this thing is a considerable upgrade on the old HSTs, which are at the time were the staple on this line. I should also put the DRA on, get GSMR going. Do have this person here monitoring the train. I believe we are in diesel. We are chugging away in diesel mode. So yeah, we'll put it in electric mode once we get to Hayes. We will be able to go up to 125 miles an hour today, which is very nice, since normally you are not able to take the 802 you're only on the route that this
TPWS and AWS operational.
Oh, I shouldn't have opened the doors because this is a test run. Oops. Reset the DR. There we go. Alright. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Unfortunately, like the Class 801, the 802 does use quite a lot of sounds ported over from the Class 377 for some reason. Oh, wow. Okay, this thing does accelerate a lot quicker than the HST does. It's weird to see this thing in an HST running side by side. Oh, there's a 220 over there. Yeah. So, of course, in the era since this route was set, the line from Paddington all the way to Cardiff Central, and also down to Newbury on the Cornish Main Line, has been electrified, and this thing runs mainly in electric power, but also diesel power on electrified sections. Right, I should slow down quite quickly, otherwise I'll get a TPWS brake application. Yeah. Brake. Don't want to get a TPWS brake application because it does work in the IET. Alright. DRA has been set. Now, way to get the red signal. I believe there's an HST service. Yeah, since we are a test service and there's no one on board, we do have to give way to the traffic that does, carry passengers. Yeah, it's weird seeing this thing on this line, because at the time, there were only a couple of... GWR was the first train operator in the entirety of the UK to receive IETs, and in 2017, when this timetable was set, there were only a couple of them around. Nowadays, they're literally everywhere. In 10 years, they've basically taken over everything the HST, and in some cases, the Class 220 family used to do. And yeah, they are quite literally everywhere. Like, the only long distance UK train operator that doesn't use these is ScotRail, and quite frankly, ScotRail is probably going to be ordering and using these within the next 10 years. Here comes an HST. Yeah, it looks like a ironic Look at the juxtaposition. Ultra modern, sleek, GWR branded, forced to give way to the ultra old first Great Western stock. Look at that. So funny. I did also forget to mention that I do have multiple branding patches active. All of them can be found at the Train Sim Community mod list in the description. Yeah. Yeah. Also, this thing does have signal sounds modeled, but the Class 801 still has a silent buzzer to this day, for some reason. Anyway. Yeah, yeah. Nowadays, there is a better version in the IET that you can get by All Aboard Studios, the Avanti Class 805 Evero add-on for West Coast Mainline South and Birmingham to Crewe. And yeah, like, that one has a significantly better sound set. It also has, like, better modeled cab, light glow around the instruments, stuff like that. But I haven't got that one yet because... why are you not... There we go. Now it's giving me power. I'm not... I haven't got the Class 805 yet because I'm waiting for it to go on sale. Because I don't think... Frankly, I don't think it is worth it full price. Yeah. I think the main attraction of the 805 for me is the better sound set and also the new timetable for West Coast Mainline South. Yeah. Compared to the HST, this thing is miles quicker in terms of acceleration. Yeah. These things these IETs actually share a lot of components with the Japanese bullet trains, since they're both built by Hitachi of Japan. In fact, a lot of these IETs are actually built at the Shizuoka plant that a lot of the bullet trains are built at, so yeah, which is somewhat funny because the IETs are notorious for being quite uncomfortable and also for having and also for having poor reliability in some cases. Like, for example, when the 802 was doing test runs on design in this period, there were serious problems with these units having chassis cracking, but those have now been resolved. But it was a massive money drain for GWR, of course. Had to keep sending them back to Hitachi in order to get them repaired yet again. Yeah. And the reason you get shunted to specifically here at North Pole Depot West is because here in real life is the Hitachi facility that maintains all of GWR's IETs. Alright, that's 60 miles an hour. We've got a green signal. That's another HST. So yeah, as I said, we're running under diesel power to Hayes and Harlington, then putting up the pantograph and transitioning to electric power, and then just before Paddington, transitioning back into diesel power. Because while I could put my pantograph up, because of the route's weird electrification and the catenary only going for part of the route, the game has electrification forced on throughout the whole line, even if the catenary isn't modeled. So I am going to have to be careful to put it back into diesel power before we get to Paddington, because we won't have overhead catenary at platform 1 when we get there. It's weird running this modern unit on this line because I'm used to running the HST, and that thing's almost half a century older than, well, 40 years older than the IETs. So, yeah. To have all of these modern accoutrements like TPWS and an actually fast acceleration is quite nice. 31 miles to Paddington. We're going direct Paddington, no stops in between. I'm also using live weather today, if you hadn't noticed. Quite good weather in southern Britain today. That is 100 miles an hour. TSW6 there. Yeah, I'm absolutely I've been having a blast with the Great Western Express Remaster, and I hope you the viewer have been as well, because if you have this game, like, this route is basically a necessity if you like the British stuff. It is absolutely superb. Here's Twyford. There's the Henley branch local stopper there at platform 5. Let's actually get a proper, like, fly past shot. Oh, that's gonna take a while. Let's hurry up and get the camera ahead. Hear the proper rail singing. You can hear the rail singing even now. Man, these things are quick. Yeah. You don't see pretty much any trains running in... any passenger trains, I should say, running in diesel mode on this line anymore. It's all electric stuff nowadays, and if you did see a passenger train running in diesel mode, that would be because the electric stuff would be non-functional. Oh yeah, we're at line speed already. This thing is really quick, even in diesel mode compared to the HSTs. And in electric mode, this thing's even faster to accelerate and decelerate. We are going basically full speed all the way to Paddington, if we do get good signals anyway. Sorry, I just had to pause because just wanted to check to see if my recording software was running, which it actually is, because yeah, didn't want to be going for all this time and realize I'm not actually running my recording software. That would be bad. Okay, we seem to be running just behind that first Great Western HST. That's further up the line. Oh man. Having to go between notches 2 and 3 on the throttle because neither one is holding the speed absolutely right, so I'm having to be careful. HST. The 802 from the Riviera line is decent. Like, it is decently modelled, and I do like, especially like the GWR analog speed gauge that they've got, unlike the 801 and 805, which both have. Right, brake. Gotta slow down. Oh, hello, Cargo Line 4 military train on the left. Here is Maidenhead. Oh. We got a bit too close to that HST in front. I mean, nowadays, if you go to Maidenhead, you see IETs flashing through every like 3 to 5 minutes. But yeah, to see an IET at this time would have been a very rare occurrence. No passengers to worry about comfort-wise. Because, yeah. Oh, 80 miles. Nice. Here's the Brunel Bridge across the Thames. Very nice. I think that's the world's largest brick bridge to this day. Yeah, let's try and keep around 100 miles an hour and just space ourselves out a bit, just to let that HST in front get a bit more leeway. first Great Western Plain Blue Class 165. I've got both Dynamic and Plain Blue 165 and 166s, if you... So yeah, but I know there's a bit of overhead catenary here, between Taplow and Burnham, I think this is, but this catenary is not turned on, and it's too short for, even if it was turned on, it would be too short for me to put up my, for me to put up the pantograph anyway, so... Yeah, there we go, and there we go, the catenary's already gone. Oh, and it's back! Yeah, this bit, the catenary on this route is weird. It's like, so, on most places only have poles, some places have wires installed, and from Hayes and Harlington West all the lines are electrified. So, it's very, very odd indeed. Here is Burnham. I do like the rail singing that comes. That was added in the remaster. That should be a core feature included with every single new TSW route, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, we seem to be tailing this. Yeah, I'm glad we're sticky at 100 miles an hour. No, it's a bit slower than we're supposed to be going, but yeah, let's actually get back up toward 125. I think we've left enough space between us and the HST. Already covered 10 miles, that's a bit nuts. The express passenger runs on this line do not take very long at all, like tops half an hour, even if you're stopping in Slough. Yeah. One nice thing about doing high-speed runs in the IET on this route is, on the Riviera line, the maximum speed that you can do is 100 miles an hour, and that's only because, and that's only during the short section from Exeter to St. David's to the Sea. Here's Slough, there's the Windsor and Eton Central Branch. Do an obligatory horn. I think the only bit of the sounds on the Class 805 by All Aboard Studios that hasn't been changed is the horn tones. I think it's just the stock horn that Dovetail put together for the Class 801 and then recycled on the 802, but no matter. 17 miles to go. Already past Slough. We've covered already like almost half of the route already. It's a bit nuts how fast you can do this route if as an express service. We seem to be keeping good spacing in between us and the HST. We've got 11 minutes to do 16 miles. We should make it. It'll be fine. DSD, approaching 125. Some FK wagons on the left there. Yeah, it is nuts how fast this route goes by when you've got a speedy service. Which is a bit of a shame that we'll never see any route extensions. But it is what it is, unfortunately. And the reason for the lack of said extensions is, unfortunately, this route, since this was only the second route ever put in TSW, they just weren't even thinking about the possibility of extending it in the future. So, unfortunately, this route will never be extended just because, like, it's developmentally impossible from what I've heard, but I am no expert in Unreal Engine coding, so yeah, I just take that, I haven't confirmed this myself, of course. 13 miles to go, under 9.5 minutes to do so. Actually, need to slow down. 50% brakes, another HST rocketing past. Oh, there we go, okay. that a freight train in front of us? I think it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, the surface really is chasing yellows into Paddington, unfortunately. There's no... I don't think there's any surface where... Because this route is just so busy, I don't think there's any time where you can just let rip. But the 802 would stay at 125 for the whole run, unfortunately, just because of how busy this route is, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Overtaking an FKA intermodal train. There's the Heathrow Junction branch. Ooh, it's a direct rail service class 66. Very nice. That's probably my favourite paint scheme on the 66 in the game, currently. Oh, and overhead wires are in, so electric. Bam! Pantograph up. Let's have a look. Yes! Look at that! We're running under electric power! Woohoo! Okay, that's very nice. Which means we have far more acceleration to do. There's a Heathrow Connect service. There's someone actually modding a Class 360 into the game using the 350 model, not just taking the 350 and adding a Heathrow Connect livery to it, but actually like making a proper 360. As of recording this video, the release of that mod is currently unknown. The release date, I should say. There's an aggregate train made up of Cargo Line Volume 2 HOA wagons, just about to back in to unload, I assume. Yeah, seem to be chasing yellows a bit. The water tower. That water tower means we're approaching Southall, which is probably one of my favorite stations on the route due to the bilingual. I think it is English and Punjabi signage, which is very interesting. I think it's the only station in the entirety of the UK which has that. Obviously, it's Punjabi because there are a lot of Indian immigrants in the area, of course. So it's just departing Southall there. First Great Western Plain Blue. Southall Depot on the right-hand side, which is my favourite place on the whole route. Excellent for trade pottering around with stuff. Let's just stick at 100, around 100, because otherwise you just get too close to the red signals. And whatever I do not want to trigger a TPWS penalty brake, because those are annoying to sort out and will bring the train to a halt. I love how you can run under electric power. This is so cool. I do need to get the thumbnail at some point, so I need to remind myself to do that. Here's the... what is this? The Hanwell Viaduct, I think this is? Yeah. Oh, and here's Hanwell Station, which has a really nice, like, retro GWR vibe to it. 7 miles to go, coming up on West Ealing. Yeah, we keep going through double yellows. There's the Greenford branch coming in from the left there, sounding the horn, because at this bridge you're supposed to sound the horn, and the AI sound their horns at that bridge as well, which is very cool. Passing through West Ealing at full speed. Well, not full speed. There's a 100 limit coming up. There's a 66. Ooh. I think is that 6945? Let me have a look. That's the service I did. Yes, it is. It's the service that I did in the last video. Very nice. But I didn't see this service, so as AI, the Class 802 must only run at certain times of year. Interesting. Ealing Broadway. Central Line, there goes a Central Line train over there. 1972 stock representing the 1992 stock, because we don't have that in the game. Didn't see any District Line D stocks, but yeah. 4.5 minutes to get there. Let's see. Absolutely streaking past the London Underground train. Coming up on Acton Yard here. I'm getting quite familiar with this line. Sorry, I had to mute to sneeze. I do apologize. Oh, we do have to slow down. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we could stay under electric power, but I'm going to switch to diesel once we get to Westbourne Park, because the platform we're getting put in at is not electrified. There goes the freight line off to the left there. So, yeah. There's the North London line. If you have the Mile Main line by Johannes Hartmann, you can see AI traffic going over that line. Little 2-car there. There's the Hitachi facility where this train will be pulling in later. So, slow down to 50. Oh, hello! It's that one HST light loco service, 0077. Very nice. That's the only light loco run in the entire timetable at the moment. Maybe more will be added with the GWR HST farewell pack, but we'll see. 3 minutes to do the... This is Paddington. We might be a tad late, but hey-ho, it is what it is. You can actually see Southern Class 377s going over that bridge. I don't know what line that is. Please do enlighten me in the comments section. What is that line? Because, yeah, having Southern trains going over it, that threw me a bit. There's the bridge from Old Oak Common. Actually get up toward 50. Actually, I want to check. Okay, there is. I want to take my thumbnail with an HST, like old versus new sort of thing. Oh, there's the Dynamic Lines 3-car network turbo. Alright, we do have a single yellow, so we'll have to be careful. Oh, it's now green, okay. Oh, there's a GWR green mark through GWR Mark 3s in there. Oh, yes, and it's a first Great Western as well. So that's, like, literally perfect. Yes! Like, old versus new. I love that juxtaposition, man. Oh, I did not mean to hit that button. To show the grid. Let's tone down the depth of field a tad, and I don't think we'll add any motion blur because I don't really like motion blur. Well, I add it occasionally, but not that much. Take that because that looks awesome. Oh man, the juxtaposition old versus new, that is so cool. Right, we'll have to fire up the diesel engine at some point, so, and switch over to ye olde diesel power, because yeah, as I said, our train doesn't have overhead wires all the way to the platform it's supposed to go to, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. 1.5 miles to go with 1.5 minutes to get there. I don't think we'll get there on time, if I'm being honest, but yeah. Right, we'll have Westbourne Park coming up in a minute, and that's where I'll switch over back to diesel. We've had a very short section of running under overhead wires, but yeah. So there's Westbourne Park on the right hand side, so diesel power, engage, and hold the engine start and aux on buttons. There's a D-stock, or a Class 484 masquerading as a, yeah. Oh crumbs. That's a 40 limit. Brake. There we go. Okay. We're now running under diesel power once again. I wanted to do that pretty early. I know we still have overhead wires for a bit longer, but I wanted to do that early just to make sure I wouldn't forget. There goes another Heathrow Connect service. That's not good. Brake. No TPWS penalty brake here. Yeah, we just missed our time to get in. Oh, there we go. Yes, okay. We did have a TPWS penalty brake. Yeah, there we go. Diesel engine takes a bit to spool up. There's Royal Oak there. we are getting shunted over on toward the southern side of Paddington, because we are being put in platform 1, which is the most prestigious platform, because we are a test service, of course. I wonder why this bit on the end of platform 1 is abandoned, and why it goes so much further than the other bit of Paddington. Alright. Wow, all first Great Western blue HSTs and not a single GWR green one in sight. Wow, okay, what are the odds of that? Right, slightly late into Paddington, but we can help that due to a red signal. And also the HST getting in front of us. So yeah, as you can see, no overhead wires at this platform, which is why I wanted to switch into diesel mode, just to make sure. Alright, let's get down toward 10 miles an hour. Welcome to Paddington with our IET service. Get down to like more toward 5 miles an hour. Don't want a TPWS penalty break if I can avoid it. Easy does it. Yeah, next service is up for well over an hour. And where does it go? Can't read it from this distance. Oh, it goes to, what is that? Morton in Marsh. Okay. Alright, let's get within 10 yards. Easy does it. Don't want to ruin our brand new experimental train. Right, 4 yards decent. And there we go. Welcome to Paddington. The horn doesn't seem to have any echo effects, but okay.
Reading, which is ready to leave. For your safety, please be aware that some platforms at this station have no or only partial tactile paving on the platform edge.
I love the announcements, man. Sounds so good.
Please mind the step from the platform onto the train.
Let's actually hide the HUD because I just want to admire the sight of the 802 in Paddington. Ooh, only 32 points lost to speeding. Platinum medal, of course. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. This is a really interesting service, so yeah, I hope you'll hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified of it when a new upload drops, if you are subscribed. Please do join the channel if you can, because it does help me out, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.